Okay, so in the same way that we can sum an arithmetic sequence, we can sum a geometric sequence, and that's called a geometric series. All right, and so without necessarily going through the proof of it, we can see there the rule for our geometric series, and we tend to use this form of it here. It all comes out the same in the wash. This form, if r is less than 1, in other words it's decreasing, and this form here if r is greater than 1. All right, but it's going to be the same thing. This is the one here that we'll get on our formula sheet. So a times r to the n minus 1 over r minus 1. So let's move on. Okay, boys, I've just discovered I didn't do any recording when I created these slides, so I'll just go over the top. Let's have a look at the first example here. Sum of the first 9 terms. So there's our rule, Sn equals. First term 1/3, the ratio is 1/3 because we're increasing or decreasing by a factor of a third each time. Just put our a value in, our r to the n value in. We get to there, 1/3 over 2/3 is a half. Look, we could work it out on the calculator from there, but we can leave it like that if we wish. What about for example 2, example 16? Sequence 139, so the first term is obviously 1. We're increasing by a factor of 3 each time, so that's r. And we want to add the sum of the terms to be 1093. So there's my rule. And I'm going to use this other form, r to the n minus 1, simply because the r ratio is greater than 1. So we're going to have, that's 2 there, multiply the 2 across to 1093 is 2186, add the 1 over, I get 3 to the n is equal to 2187. On my CAS, that will give me the n equal to 7. So we're going to have to, the 7th term, we add up to 7 terms, we'll end up with 1093. All right. Same here, I forgot to push record. So, Tour de Moravia, which in our coronavirus days is not running. Our initial day was 120 days, and then we ride 90%. So I left it as 9/10 initially. As it turns out, 0.9 was probably going to be simpler. How far do they ride? Well, it's a 15-day tour. So S of 15 is going to be a times 1 minus r to the n. I'll use 1 minus because r is less than 1. To the power of 15 all over 1 minus 9/10. 1 minus 9/10 is 1/10. 120 over 1/10 is 1200. And we'll just put it into our calculator and get out near enough to 953 kilometres. The next part of that asks us to work out how long it took us to ride half that distance. Well, half the distance is 476.5 kilometres. So we put the 476.5 equal to 120 minus 0.9 to the n this time, over 1 minus 0.9. Again, 1 minus 0.9 is 0.1. So that 120 becomes 1200. And let's divide it across. So I divided the 1200 across there. Look, to be honest, once I got to there, you could just type it into the CAS. 1 minus 476.5 on 1200 is hopefully 723.5, if I've done the math right. Otherwise, we get 0.9 to the end. Anyway, 4.8 is the day. It takes 4.8 days, which means after 5 days we'll finally get, the end of the 5th day we'll get to the halfway mark. All right.